Co-parenting after a separation or divorce is rarely easy. Relationships aren't built overnight. All lovers create a story filled with moments that once had so much meaning, but not all relationships last. The fall of a relationship is painful and sad. When there are children in the mix, the situation can become even more emotional and volatile. So, how do you move on from a heartbreak and effectively co parent with an ex? Parenting expert Laura Markowtiz is here to tell us more. Good morning, Laura, and thank you for joining me.
Hi, Miriam. Thanks for having me.
All right, first, start off by telling us what is co parenting.
So, co parenting is the situation that's going to happen even after, as you've just mentioned, a relationship has broken up where families have been living together and now there's been a separation or divorce. And as much as the relationship has ended, you still need to continue parenting these kids. And so co parenting is the situations that's going to happen after that. And obviously, what we'll chat about a bit today is that can go better or it can go worse after a relationship is broken. But it is the situation that is maintaining the parenting relationship even after the personal relationship between the parents has ended.
All right, now, obviously, we want a good co parenting relationship between both parents for the benefit of the kids. And how do you achieve that?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously easier said than done some of the time because at the end of a relationship, obviously you are dealing with your own pain, your own hurt, your anger, your own stresses, your own strains. So my first port of call always is to be taking care of yourself as the parent. Obviously, we've got the kids and the best interests of them at heart, but you have to be taking care of yourself before you can take care of them. So I always say to parents, find good outlets, find good support for yourself, and make sure that you have people that you can vent to, that you can express how hard it is, the pain, the loss, all that you are going through, so that you are not projecting that onto the kids, because that's what we want to avoid. We want to be trying to make sure that children can remain children and that the adults can remain adults in this situation. So the adults have decided that this relationship needs to end, but they remain these children's parents. And so it's a very difficult thing. And that's why I always say take care of yourself first, make sure you've got healthy outlets so that you can find the best ways to be taking care of the kids. So once you're doing that kind of stuff, we need to be thinking, well, what are some of the things you can be doing to take care of the kids? One of them is empathy. I'm always talking about empathy, making sure that you are understanding what is happening from their perspective. So, what they are feeling. Um, you might be very angry and hurt by their father or their mother, but it's still their mother and still their father. So it's being able to empathize with them. Things like, I know you're really missing mommy at the moment. I know you're really missing daddy at the moment. I know this is very hard for you. I know this is very confusing. I know it's very frustrating. I know you're feeling very angry. So talking about the feelings and then helping to make sense of things a little bit for them because obviously it's a very confusing time. Um, where do I fit in? Is this because of me? How's this going to work? How do I make sure that my things that I need for school are here when actually some of them are at daddy's house? So it's making sure that you have healthy structures and routines in place to try and keep things as containing as you can for the children. So it's making sure that they have their things, that you are able to set out schedules so that they know when am I going to be at mommy's house? When am I going to be at daddy's house? 3 more sleeps before I go to mommy's house, 2 more sleeps before I go to mommy, so that you're preparing them as much as you can and keep talking about things, allowing them the space to express what they're feeling. It's a very uncontaining time and it takes a long time. Um, to be able to adjust to a new situation. So those are some of the things that we can be thinking about holding the kids through a really difficult process.
And I mean, nobody actually plans for this ahead of time because you always think that your relationship is going to last forever. Well, when you get married or you're with a partner, it's always towards the end. It's never, you don't ever think that you're going to have to separate sometime, and that's why I think many people do.
Whoops, Miriam, I've just lost your sound. Sorry, your sound's just disappeared. Can you hear me? Oops. Hi. Whoops. Hi.
Do not have access to safe, clean water. In developing countries, around 80% of all illnesses are due to contaminated water and poor sanitation. Don't let dirty water end a life. Build a water well. In Bangladesh, Malawi, Nepal, Zimbabwe, or here at home in South Africa, donate to Penny Appeal's Thirst Relief Project to bring safe, clean water to communities around the world. www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Sustain, sacrifice, share.
Africa.
This Eid al-Adha, donate your Udhiyah Qurbani to Africa Muslims Agency. We ensure that your Qurbani not only feeds the poor, but creates sustainable incomes for local farmers, brings the practice of sacrifice to the villages, and shares the spirit of Eid. Sponsor in South Africa for 2,650 rands. Africa, 1,650 rands. Palestine, 7,250 rands per share. Or in Lebanon, Afghanistan, and other countries across the globe. Visit africamuslimsagency.co.za for pricing and to donate. Call Africa Muslims Agency now on 011 834 8685. Africa Muslims Agency, commemorating 35 years of empowering, educating, inspiring.
When you feel all alone in this world and there's nobody to count your tears, just remember, no matter where you are, Allah knows. Allah knows. When you're carrying a monster load and you wonder how far you can go, with every step on that road that you take, Allah knows. Allah knows. No matter what inside or out, there's one thing of which there's no doubt. Allah knows. Allah knows. And whatever lies in the heavens and the earth, every star in this whole universe, Allah knows. Allah knows. When you find that special someone, feel your whole life has barely begun. You can walk on the moon, shout it to everyone. Allah knows. Allah knows. When you gaze with love in your eyes, catch a glimpse of paradise, and you see your child take the first breath of life. Allah knows. Allah knows. No matter what inside or out, there's one thing of which there's no doubt. Allah knows. Allah knows. And whatever lies in the heavens and the earth.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Welcome back. We do apologize for the technical difficulties that we just experienced. Sometimes, it is part of the job. We are talking co-parenting in a healthy way for the benefits of children with parenting expert Laura Markowtiz. Laura, thank you for your patience and understanding and for staying on the line with us. Now, let us continue quickly. I know you have to leave us soon. So how do you co-parent with a difficult partner? Perhaps you had a really a divorce or separation that was just not nice at all, and now you have to co-parent with that bitter ex. How do you go about that?
Sorry, Mariam, it was very breaking up there, but I think what you were saying is how do you co-parent when you've got a really difficult relationship with an ex? Is that what you're asking? Yeah. So obviously that is so difficult to deal with. And as I said before, all the things stand is looking after yourself through that, because that is, when you're saying parenting with a difficult ex, it might be relationship stuff. It might be you dealing with financial things that you are having to still fight about, and yet you're still having to manage dealing with parenting these children after that situation. So things that can be helpful are thinking about how you go about communicating with that ex. So first of all, the thing I spoke about earlier is about having a plan in place, having things consistent, routine, structures, so that it's not left to the whims of who's feeling what when. It is really as much as you can, if possible, have things clearly scheduled so that everybody knows where they stand. And then also to think about how to communicate with that person. And it might sound like such a simple thing, but in reality, it's really difficult. Things like, is it easier to communicate with them via text? Is it easier to email? Is it easier to do something over the phone? To think about how you are going to communicate. The most important thing is that you are not using the children to be your conduit, to communicate through the children because you have a difficult ex. And that is often what happens, even when parents are very much aware of this. They might try and avoid that, but suddenly they find themselves sending messages, tell your dad I'm going to fetch you or tell your dad this, tell your mom this. And suddenly these children are having to be the messengers. And that's a really awful position that we put them in. So I always think it's important to be cognizant of how you are communicating. Even if you have a book where you're sending messages and that gets passed from one parent to the other, however it is, it's thinking about how you are going to communicate with this person, because unfortunately you are stuck with communicating with them in order to still parent these children going forward. So very much all the things that I said earlier, but really the structures, the routines are important, the communications, and then being really careful about how you avoid having your children get involved in any of the communication at all. And then finally, something to think about is to be very cognizant of transitions or handovers between the parents. So when a child is moving from one parent to the next, be very aware of where that's happening, how that's happening. So some parents, where they find there's a particularly difficult relationship with an ex, is you do that where you organize to fetch from the school rather than from each other's homes. So you come up with a plan that is going to make it as easy as possible, taking into account a very volatile reality that you're living in.
All right, Laura, quickly, where does your current partner fit in? Where should they fit in this whole situation of co-parenting?
Mariam?
Yes.
Sorry, sorry, can you repeat that? It broke up again. Can you repeat
All right.
the question?
Okay, where should your current partner fit in this situation, and how much should they do?
So you're saying if you've hooked up with somebody new you're in a new relationship, is
Yes.
that, yeah? So sorry, just sort of picking up words as we go. Yeah, again, that's a whole a huge topic in and of itself. But some things to think about around that is be very careful of introducing a new partner too soon. I'd keep that very, very, very much distant from kids. So, I'd love to give an absolute exact marker of when the right time is. But the truth is to wait at least 3 months into a relationship before you even introducing a new partner to your kids, because it's a difficult relationship for them to get used to. And then also, if you are going to have somebody new, remember to tell your ex about this new relationship as well. So again, it's not left up to the kids to have to pass on this information or feel that they have to hide something. And then again, it's thinking about, how they do get involved. Things like, do new partners get involved in discipline with children? And I generally say, as a rule, no. Rather get them to connect with children, get them to build a relationship, keep things on neutral grounds, get them to get to know each other, build a relationship, let them be friendly. It's such an adjustment for kids to have a new partner in their lives, for their parents to have a new partner in their lives. So just very quickly, some things to think about is just to hold off on introducing a new partner too soon. Think about how you're going to do it. Make sure that your children aren't left to communicate that to your ex as well, because obviously it's an additional adjustment for them to have to deal with.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Laura, and for sharing that. Well, there's so much that we still can discuss on this topic, but
Yes.
unfortunately, with time, we cannot continue. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Mariam. Good. Thanks for the opportunity to chat. Thanks.
Right. Bye-bye. Parenting expert Laura Markowtiz sharing tips on how to work towards a healthy and happy co-parenting relationship for the benefit of your children. If you are co-parenting, send us a message, leave a comment in the comment section and tell us how you are doing it. How is it working out for you? And perhaps you have some advice for our viewers and listeners. We would love to hear it as well. And just what Laura said earlier on is, you need to be a good parent. To be a good parent, you need to first heal yourself. First, find a support group. Find people who are in similar situations to help you out, to help you cope with the situation of no longer being in a relationship with a spouse and no longer having that two parents in a home situation. so that you don't take that hurt into co-parenting and having to be upset all the time, with your partner for doing whatever it is that they did, for the relationship breaking, etc. So that's what you need to do. And when dealing with a difficult ex, remember the love that you had together. Think about the positives and not the negatives. The two of you broke up for a reason, but remember when you thought you could conquer the world? Yeah, think about those times and, just smile about it. And perhaps that will make co parenting much easier. But if feelings remain bitter and sharp even after trying to find the good in your co parent, transform your relationship into a more business like arrangement. That's what the experts say. And if you cannot agree on anything else, at least agree on making all decisions child centered. The decisions should be about the kids. Communicate as a team, even in arguments. Disagreements will arise. When they do, it's best to keep heated moments away from the children. If you need to have it out or discuss something of importance, schedule a date and a neutral place to talk. Of course, some disagreements just can't wait. So if you must bring a contention up in front of the kids, do it wisely. It cannot actually be helpful for kids to see their parents go through the process of working through a disagreement. So just remember to never get personal and to treat each other with respect. I mean, you want your kids to grow up with respect and having respect for you as a parent. So handle your arguments or disagreements with respect as well. And be flexible. Be flexible even if it pains you. While stability and consistency is key in helping a child feel secure during unsure times, it's also important to show flexibility. If parents give each other the benefit of the doubt on scheduling and forgiveness, they will give their children supportive, soft places to land during hard situations. And be accessible to your co-parent. If your first reaction is to silence your phone when your ex's number pops up, consider yourself human. But when you're co-parenting, communication is key. You don't need to jump through hoops every time they call, but if you are available to talk, pick up the phone, and if it's a text about the kids, respond promptly. When the kids see that you are able to communicate kindly and respectfully, they will appreciate it and follow suit. I mean, don't be a parent who's like texting and calling your child instead of your ex and telling them that tell your parent, tell your father, tell your mother this and that. No, you pick up the phone and you talk to your ex about whatever it is that you need to talk about. And never badmouth your ex no matter how angry you are. Parents should make sure that they don't speak negatively about their co-parent or allow any third party to do so in front of their children. Of course, it's easy to channel your inner Cruella de Vil on someone that's making your life difficult, but the consequences can be huge. Children often see themselves as a combination of their parents. So if parents can't stand one another, it sets into motion a depletion of the child's self-worth. So those are just a few additional tips onto what Laura has already spoken of, and would love to hear from you. You can, Sakumzi Mtombeni says, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men, by Frederick Douglass. The best security blanket a child can have is parents who respect each other even when they are separated or divorced. Thank you so much for your comment. It is 11:30. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media. We will be right back.